Bravo for the Maestro. This season, the expressive Maestro Diemecke celebrates his 25th year with the Flint Symphony Orchestra.
Hello, welcome to another wonderful program that we have prepared for you of the Flint Symphony Orchestra. Benjamin Britten. He was born in 1913 and he was a child prodigy. When he was just about 13 years old, he was already writing string quartets, songs, sonatas, and many other works. This time we're going to play something that he was always inclined to do because he was like a child prodigy. He thought that maybe everyone should learn about a symphony orchestra in a different way. So he wrote a piece that he called Young People's Guide to the Orchestra. What does he mean about guiding into the orchestra? He picked up a theme. This theme was not by him. It was by another English composer named Henry Purcell. And then presented with the whole orchestra. Then each time that the theme appear in a different instrument of the orchestra. So that way he was showing the whole aspects of the symphony orchestra. So at times we hear the theme just performed by the strings. First with the first violins and the second violins. Then by the violas, then by the celli, and then by the basses. And then it came the wind instruments. The flute and the piccolo, the oboe with the English horn, then the clarinets, then the bassoons. That's the family of the wind instruments. Woodwind, to be more precise. Because we have another family of winds, which are the brass. So he is going to show us in a theme by Purcell a variation that is going to present now the French horns, the trumpets, the trombones with the tuba, and then finally the other family of the orchestra, that is the percussion, piano, and harp. So each of these instruments are going to appear, especially the harp is going to do her own, I say her because normally it's played by a lady, is going to be playing a variation. Then we have the percussions that are going to be showing all of the percussion instruments we normally have in a symphony orchestra. Starting with the timpani, then going with the bass drum, the triangle, the cymbals. This is the way we present a symphony orchestra, and Benjamin Britten wanted to guide all the young people into the symphony orchestra. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Pay special attention to each of the instruments and try to remember all of them, because at the end they all want to play together and it's going to sound like an organ. Robert Schumann, a wonderful composer, but he was married to Clara Schumann, and he wrote a piano concerto for her and wanted to show all the love and passion he had for her. And you will see in the piece that it's exactly that way. It's all beauty, it's all love, it's all the way he was feeling about her. But also giving the opportunity for the pianist to showcase the technical displays, to show the technique, to make everything really work in a sense that the piano can shine. For this concerto, incidentally, he did very well. The balance is perfect. It makes the piano always sound and the melodies always come through the orchestra. Each of the movements, it has 3 movements, has a different aspect, different rhythm. But the most interesting one is the last movement, because he uses something that it was very kind of new in a sense for orchestral music and for classical music. The melody sounds in our ear this way, tan ta tan 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 tan. Sounds very simple, correct? But when we are gonna play it, and the conductor guides the orchestra, is in a different type of a rhythm in a way, because the conductor is like this, tan 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 tan. So the way that is being written creates a little bit of an extra little kind of an accent. We call that a hemiola. Most of the times the romantic composers like to use the cellos, the violas, the French horns and bassoons as the melody. That would be like in the piano, using your left hand in the center playing the melody. Instead of having always the melody with the right hand, this time you have it all in the center. A lot of the romantic composers like to have that sound because the sound is more profound, more coming from your guts. I'm sure this is going to be a wonderful piece and you will enjoy. The next work we are performing is the Symphony No. 2 by Johannes Brahms. We talk about Robert Schumann and Clara Schumann. Well, why am I saying that? Because Brahms was a very close friend of both of them. But when all those three guys were together in those days, there was going something on in the musical aspects of life. They were all composing in a romantic way. What does it mean to compose in a romantic way? In classical music, romanticism is expressed like the writers would be putting a story that had to be with romance. Brahms was a romantic in the Germanic world. And in this symphony, I find myself, even though it's not written in any place in the world, you can go and search for notes and biographies, and they will never say what I'm going to tell you. But that's my appreciation of the music that I got from the score, the way he wrote it. So to me, the first movement that begins with the cellos playing a theme, just setting it down. It sounds a little bit like a waltz, but it's more like a lullaby. And the second movement, this movement is a little more in the thoughts of a piano playing. Like a pianist would be playing, but he transcribes everything perfectly well for an orchestra. So to me, I immediately say, well, why a piano? Well, he was a pianist. But Robert Schumann was a pianist, and Clara was a pianist. So maybe this is Clara. He's trying to identify Clara, trying to explain how was she a wonderful pianist and a wonderful person and a wonderful artist. But then the last movement, in the last movement we see something like 2 or 3 themes going together, and sometimes like not having to have a battle. On the contrary, they all were like together. So to me, that's a relationship the three of them had. How do you like about that as a romantic novel, no? Well, that's the romantic era. Whether it's true or not, what I'm telling you has nothing to do with the music in a sense. But it has to do with the using of your imagination for you to create your own story when you hear the music. That's romanticism for you. Enjoy it.